Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled to walk you through a truly fascinating, dramatic narrative today. We're looking at a story called The Ink Blot Sovereignty and the Architecture of Stasis. But we aren't just going to analyze this from the outside looking in. No, we're going to structure our entire exploration like a dramatic script for a stage play. And even more than that, I want you to literally step into the shoes of the story's protagonist, the last thinker. So imagine yourself sitting right there, center stage, as we dissect this ultimate theatrical clash between rigid order and completely chaotic freedom. All right, let's lift the curtain.
So the curtain rises on you, our protagonist, the last thinker. You're sitting center stage in this sprawling, gray town square. And the world around you? It's cast in a perpetual, cold twilight. Now you might be wondering, why is it so dark? Well, it's because the great sun of shared myth, those grand narratives and beliefs that once warmed and united all of humanity, has long ago set. It's totally gone. And it's exactly in this chilling, stagnant atmosphere that our story and your quiet rebellion actually begins.
Act 1. The Cold Twilight. Let's set the stage. Enter the Pale Inquisitor. He sits at a desk of cold stone, representing the absolute, ultimate extreme of order. As the high priest of a modern state god, he just sits there meticulously tallying a ledger of sacrifices. He's literally measuring exactly how much humanity his people have willingly surrendered. To him, his citizens are just, and I quote, orphans of meaning, safely tucked behind glass walls. See, he doesn't view humans as individuals with any sort of creative potential. He views them as fragile creatures who just need to be numb and comfortable, even if it means totally stripping away their soul.
And this brings us to the Inquisitor's ultimate thesis, the architecture of stasis. Think of this almost like the ultimate algorithmic echo chamber, or like an endless doom-scrolling feed. It's a system of absolute control that actively trades our deep human terror of the unknown for a really shallow, numb repose. He places his citizens inside what he calls a cage of slogans, basically sacrificing their chaotic, creative potential just to keep them comfortable and completely stagnant. He calls these people the sleepers. But as the last thinker, you recognize this stasis. It's not safety at all. It's a spiritual prison.
Act 2. The Great Debate. The Architect emerges. Suddenly, the very fabric of reality starts to shift. The intersections of what's called high time, where timelines overlap and fray, just tear wide open. The stage darkens, and this towering silhouette of liquid midnight takes the stage. Enter the Architect of Ink Blot. He is the physical embodiment of chaos, of unpredictable potential, and the destruction of rigid laws. And get this, he's crowned with a halo of fractured clock faces running backward. It's a direct, mocking challenge to the Inquisitor's obsession with linear, predictable control. His very voice vibrates like a silent thunderclap, stepping right up to challenge the sovereign of the shattered stone.
The Architect delivers his opening line with immense theatrical flair. He says, "A perfect line invites a strike, and I have come to ruin your clean parchment with a beautiful, unpredictable stain." He is straight up vowing to shatter the kingdom's stagnant peace. To the Architect, the Inquisitor's perfect order and clean parchment are entirely unnatural. He views this extreme stasis as the true anomaly of the universe, and he actively seeks to reintroduce the chaotic vitality that actually makes existence meaningful in the first place.
So what we are witnessing here is a stark, philosophical debate between two massive forces. They represent entirely opposing views on human meaning and personal freedom. On one side, the Pale Inquisitor argues for the hollow safety of order. We're talking clean parchment, a cage of slogans, and a ledger of sacrifices. On the exact opposite side, the Architect argues for the terrifying beauty of chaotic freedom, the beautiful stain, unknown potential, and the mastery of one's own narrative. And right smack in the middle of this grand debate sits you, the last thinker.
Now the Inquisitor sneers at you, claiming you're just one single traveler who's going to be crushed by the weight of your own loneliness. But the Architect, he sees your true rebellion. By simply sitting in that square, refusing the old beacons and the Inquisitor's pre-written maps, you are actually crafting personal symbols out of your own unknown potential. While the sleepers are just shivering behind their glass walls, you are actively building a temple made of one's own struggle. You're proving, in real time, that meaning isn't handed down by a state god. It has to be forged.
Act 3. Amor Fati. Radical Acceptance.
The tension on our stage reaches its absolute breaking point right here.
You, as the last thinker, must fully embody a truly profound philosophical concept if you're going to survive this cold twilight. And that concept is amor fati, the love of one's fate. It's a state of radical acceptance and self-authorship. It is the deep realization that you do not fear the ruin of the world around you, but you actively embrace it. This concept is the ultimate synthesis for you, the traveler. It completely elevates you way above that binary debate of order versus chaos. You aren't just surviving this clash, you are using it as the raw material for your own existence.
As the architect watches your stillness, he turns to the Inquisitor and says, he does not fear the ruin. He is the ruin. It is such a breathtaking realization. By achieving amor fati, you have become absolutely invulnerable to the Inquisitor's control. I mean, you can't be threatened with the destruction of your safety, right? Because you've already embraced the beautiful, wild unpredictability of destruction itself.
Okay, let's walk through the stage directions of this reality-bending climax. With a sudden movement, the architect initiates what is known as the spill. He literally drops a massive, chaotic timeline blot directly onto the apex of the kingdom's power. Instantly, a total logic collapse ripples through the gray square. The physical world just fractures. The stone of the Inquisitor's desk begins to exist in a billion moments at once. It's simultaneously being quarried from the earth, standing whole, and decaying into ancient dust all at the same time.
Just witness the sheer transformative power of this chaos. The three spirit siblings are unsealed, and they descend on the marketplace, completely rewriting the laws of physics. Look at this incredible shift. The guards' weapons of enforcement, their swords, instantly turn into peacock feathers. The merchant's gold, the very economic lifeblood of the stasis, transforms into the weight of forgotten dreams. The architecture of stasis is totally exposed as nothing but a fragile illusion. And the Inquisitor's cold stone desk, it dissolves into physical ink as the ultimate stain erases his rigid laws forever.
Curtain call. Individual authorship. The dust begins to settle.
So the dust settles, the wet parchment of reality forms this beautiful ruin across the stage, and the philosophical shift is finally complete. We have officially moved from the old paradigm of a shared myth, where meaning was dictated top-down by a state god, leaving people as literal orphans of meaning stuck behind glass walls. Now, thanks to the spill, we enter the paradigm of individual authorship. Here, meaning is forged in the heat of a soul using personal symbols within a new horizon of chaos. And the result? You are no longer a passive subject. You become the absolute master of your own narrative.
As the architect's unpredictable, iridescent ink refuses to dry, he whispers this incredibly powerful decree right into the shifting margins of the world. He says, "Let the sleepers wake, for the myth is no longer shared, it is authored." It's a game changer. The time of passively receiving meaning is totally over. It is now a hard mandate for every single individual to wake up and write their own existence. The Pale Inquisitor is completely erased from existence. The stage is empty, save for the vibrant, wet ink of the beautiful ruin. And there you remain, the last thinker, seated victoriously right in the center of the void. In this new horizon of chaos, the only remaining temple is the one you are actively forging from a soul that finally dared to dream. You embraced your fate, and in doing so, you found ultimate freedom.
I want to leave you with this provocation to ponder as the curtain falls on our explainer today. We all face the collapse of shared myths in our own ways, don't we? When that happens in your life, will you choose to shiver behind the glass walls of comfortable stasis, or will you embrace amor fati, pick up the pen, and dare to become the unpredictable author of your own beautiful ruin? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating script with me today. Keep asking questions and keep authoring your story.